doesn't get any better than this.
What a blow!
Definitely looking a lot like Christmas, especially here at the PBA. The players have been talking about what they want to get for Christmas, as we are just 19 days away from this very special day. And of course, as part of our special treat on this PBA Sunday, we are going to give you a game between two of the most popular teams in the league. I'm talking about the PureFoods CJ Giants and of course, the Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings. My name is Mika Besama, taking care of courtside responsibilities. And to give you the more serious business, let's turn it over to the cockpit. Here are Vito Lazatin and Coach Norman Black.
Thank you, Mika. As we count down the days to the big Christmas holiday, we are counting down mere minutes to tonight's monster matchup to wrap up PBA Sunday here on Solar TV. It is going to be the Barangay Ginebra Kings locking horns with the PureFoods TJ Giants. 2 streaks on a collision course here at the Araneta Coliseum. Basketball addicts of the Philippines, thank you for joining us. Along with Coach Norman Black, I'm Vito Lazatin. Now, Coach, you know you've got something special here in the PBA when you can rack up a couple of wins even without your usual stat-stuffing stars. And I think it's safe to say that we've got those 2 special teams here in the thick of it in the Philippine Cup.
We have 2 of the more exciting teams here in the PBA, 2 of the more popular teams here in the PBA. Every time they go up against one another, there's a lot of excitement. You can see your standings on the screens there. Barangay Ginebra, despite all the injuries, in 3rd place at 7-3. PureFoods TJ Giants just behind them at 6-4. So this is a very important game for both teams.
This is the 2nd meeting of the conference between these 2 teams. The first time these 2 teams met, we saw a shootout, and it was the offensive onslaught of the Barangay Ginebra Kings that helped them come out on top by 8 points.
But take a look at the stats from the first game. Ginebra won that basketball game 95-87. They had better 3-point shooting, better field goal percentage shooting. They went to the line a lot more than the PureFoods team. And of course, they scored more points off turnovers. So good win for Ginebra in the first time out.
Well, at the time, Barangay Ginebra were playing without Eric Menk. They had Ronald Tubid, who was the best player of the game, scoring 14 points. They also had JJ Helterbrand at the time, scoring 19 points in the game. Tonight, however, they will continue to miss the services of JJ Helterbrand. More on that later on. Now, while offense may have been the key here for Barangay Ginebra in that matchup, defense has been the solution for the entire conference for PureFoods, and they're currently number 1 in that department.
Well, take a look at these stats here. PureFoods, by the way, is the number 1 defensive team in the league. So when they put their defensive hammer down, other teams have a difficult time scoring against them. But you can see in the games won, they're only giving up 78 points per game. But look at the games they've lost. 95 points per game. Such a big difference there. Something that Coach Gregorio probably has to figure out, because if his team has such a big gap as far as giving up points, there's something wrong.
Well, both of these teams have won 2 straight games. PureFoods coming off a win over Coca-Cola, where they were playing without Kirby Raimundo. No Kirby, enter James Yap and PJ Simon, 2 of 4 Giants who are in double digits.
Well, if you look at the stats now and you look at James Yap's stats, it's a little bit down this particular conference, only averaging over 14 points per game. But last time out, he scored 22 points, 4 out of 11 from 3 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And of course, PJ Simon, 18 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. These are 2 of the main guys for the PureFoods team.
Now, a lot has been said about the absence of JJ Helterbrand, the absence of Mark Aguilar for Barangay Ginebra. But I think we got to give props to the guy who has been on a tear. He's been scoring enough for the 2 combined. Ronald Tubid is having a career conference, and he's currently number 3 in scoring.
And the fans love him. They love Ronald Tubid because of his energy. He brings it every single game. You see in the first 8 games, only averaging 15.1 points per game. But the last 2 games, he has broken out over 30 points per game. Those are import numbers, actually. He's shooting the basketball great. He's also putting up the assists and the rebounds.
Now, while Tubid's stellar performance has been impressive, I think the most compelling story by far here, not just for Barangay Ginebra, but probably for the entire PBA, has been this one veteran stepping in, filling in the shoes of Kagiwa, of Helterbrand, and even Celino Cruz. And here to tell us more about him, here's Chicky Reyes.
Thank you, Vito. You know, people say that vintage cars are expensive, that vintage wines are expensive, but a vintage Johnny Aarentos, it's priceless. And behind his 4-game averages is a story that not everyone knows. When JJ Helterbrand was injured, Coach Jong asked Johnny A if he could play for 2 games. Though not 100% conditioned to play, the desire to help Ginebra and show everyone that he can still compete were his main drivers to say yes. 4 games have passed, and at 39 years old, he feels like a rookie all over again. Excited and focused as ever. Vito, Coach Norman?
Thank you, Chicky. And you know, everybody who's ever played with Johnny A says the same thing. They say say the team gets better when he's on the floor. Basketball becomes easier when he's on the floor. It's just great to see him out there.
And he gives all of us hope that we may be able to make a comeback to the PBA one day.
It can happen, and we've seen it happen with Johnny Abarientos for Barangay Ginebra. Well, it's time to get ready, buckle up, because it's on in a few. Barangay Ginebra taking on PureFoods here on PBA Sunday on Solar TV. That's next.
Doesn't get any better than this.
Welcome to the Big Dome. This is PBA Sunday coming to you live on Solar TV. And to wrap up our doubleheader for today, it's going to be the Barangay Ginebra Kings meeting the PureFoods TJ Giants. Both teams on 2-game winning streaks. Somebody's winning streak is going to come to an end today. And here are our starting lineups.
Second game of this Sunday, we have a very special awarding ceremony. As part of the PBA's outreach program and its strong partnership with the Children's Hour, the PBA would like to donate the amount of 118,000 pesos raised from the second run of the PBA's last 2 minutes for the Children's Hour project. This will be given to support the education of the children who were left orphaned in the 2006 Southern Leyte landslide. To award the check, may we please call in the Commissioner of the Philippine Basketball Association, Commissioner Sonny Barrios, to be joined by the PBA Vice Chairman and Governor of the PureFoods TJ Giants, Mr. Rene Pardo. To receive the check, we'd like to call on Senate Court.
So Commissioner Sonny Barrios and Governor Rene Pardo heading to Center Court to hand over a check worth 118,000 pesos, a huge contribution here, and this money is going to be used to fund the education of 10 scholars for the 2009-2010 school year. 5 of those scholars in the elementary level and another 5 in the high school level. So the PBA, always an active member in the community. No exception here, helping out in the Children's Hour. And the Children's Hour has been a beneficiary of the PBA in previous years. In 1999, the PBA also made a significant contribution to their organization. And now we're just moments away from the starting lineup of tonight's game.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this Sunday's second game as we continue the second round of the eliminations of the KFC PBA Philippine Cup, featuring the battle between the PureFoods TJ Giants and the Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings. And now, make some noise for your PureFoods TJ Giants! Starting at guard, number 11, Paul Artadi. At shooting guard, number 18, James Young. At center, number 4, Rafi Rivas. At small forward, number 15, Mark Pingris. And at power forward, number 41, Don Carlos Aliano. Head coach of the PA Giants is Paul Ryan Gregorio. And now, make some noise for the starting lineup of your Barangay Ginebra Kings. At guard, number 14, the Flying A, Johnny Aarentos. At shooting guard, number 71, Ronald Tubin. At center, number 23, Rico Villanueva. At small forward, number 9, J.C. Tao. And power forward, number 32, Rich Alvarez. Head coach of the Kings is Joey Chico.
And there you have it, our starting lineups for tonight's matchup between Pure Foods and Barangay Ginebra. Johnny Abarientos making his third start of the Philippine Cup Conference for Barangay Ginebra, and both teams pretty much sticking to the same starting lineups that they used in their last matchups. Alvarez, Intal, Villanueva, Tubid, and Abarientos for Barangay Ginebra, while James Yap, Paul Artadi, Rafi Ribas, Don Aliado, and Mark Pingris for the Giants.
Well, the first thing you notice is the size advantage of the Pure Foods team, as Ribas stands about 6'7", 6'8". We have Don Aliado and Pingris, so very big lineup for Pure Foods to start the game.
Referees Balao, Ngo, and Guevara calling tonight's matchup, and we are off. Well, not quite yet.
So we'll see whether Ginebra will try to up-tempo this basketball game and try to use their speed and quickness against the much taller Pure Foods team.
The Barangay Ginebra Kings have some tough defense to face here. As we mentioned in our pregame discussion, #1 in that category currently in the conference, limiting their opponents to an average of 85 points per game. And the Giants getting first crack at it, Paul Artadi in the corner. Artadi was wide open there, decides to move in. Floater no good, big offensive board by Rafi Ribas. Put back is there.
And right away you can see that Ginebra, they're going to leave Artadi open out there and give him those shots. And he was able to get to the basket. Ronald Tubid starts the game off with the 3. And Johnny gets the steal.
Everything the Flying A does, the fans love. Now Intal against the double team. Fall away jumper, no good.
We'll also take a look at the matchup of Ronald Tubid and James Yap. Ronald Tubid, like we said, is averaging over 30 points per game the last 2 games, but tonight he has a big defensive assignment trying to guard James Yap.
Yap inside. There's the drop to Pingris. Pingris the fake. The reverse. No. Artadi keeps it alive and puts it in. And that's already 4 unanswered points for the Pure Foods TJ Giants. Johnny A pushing it up for the Kings. And Rich Alvarez getting more time than usual over the last couple of games. In the last game, he averaged 24 points, or rather 24 minutes. Nothing on that attempt from Villanueva. Abarientos gets it back. There's the jumper, and it's good.
As Johnny Abarientos tracking that basketball, still showing some quickness on the offensive end of the court.
Pingris on the outside. Artadi left alone once again, and he makes them pay.
And you might be wondering why that's happening. Johnny Abarientos is just playing center field right now. He's basically looking for James Yap to get the basketball, and he's going to double team. He's not even guarding Artadi.
Intal, the quick release, no. Rebound by Ribas. Still a 4-point ball game. A double team waiting for James Yap. Now Artadi moves in. There's the kick out. 13 seconds left on the clock. Yap lets it go.
Quick timeout here by Ginebra, as Coach Jung wants to talk about it.
It's a 7-point ball game. We'll be right back.
Doesn't get any better than this. What a play!
NBA action here on Solar TV. Over to Chicky Reyes with this report.
Thank you, Vito. Firming up of their grip on the third spot is indeed a goal of Ginebra. For their specific plans tonight, they will try to minimize point production of Kirby Raimundo, PJ Simon, and James Yap, minimize the offensive rebounds and second chance points of Meyerhofer and Ribas, and continue to involve Eric Mek down at the post. Now going over to Pure Foods, winning back-to-back games is a first in this conference, so definitely they will try to go for a third straight win tonight. 70 to 80% of the time spent in their recent practices was devoted in making adjustments on individual defense. For offense, Coach Ryan wants his second unit to deliver because their first unit will also use up a lot of energy on defense. Vito?
Thank you, Chicky. Well, we've been talking a lot about the defense of Pure Foods, but it's been their offense that's taken center stage here at the opening minutes of this matchup. They're up by 8, 10-2. Almost an interception. Abarientos keeping it alive for the Kings. Villanueva penetrates. Can't get it to roll in, but where there will be a foul.
It's going to be a pushing foul. It's going to go against Ayado. It's going to be his first foul. And Johnny Abarientos has the only 2 points for Ginebra so far in this game.
So Villanueva at the line, Enrico Villanueva, averaging about 8 points per game in this KFC PBA Philippine Cup.
And he's very important for this Ginebra team, Vito, because he needs to establish a low post game for them. Both he and Mamaril are probably their best low post players, as he misses both foul shots. But he's going to get one more.
On the break for the Kings, hoping to add another point on the board here.
Now, he never called that last timeout. Let's see if they revisit their defense. Where they had Johnny Aarentos basically leaving Paul Artadi wide open.
And in the process, Paul Artadi scoring a 3 as Villanueva makes up for it. It's now a 7-point ball game, 9 minutes and 13 still remaining in the first. Artadi finding Aliado down low. Yap trying to be the receiver. Pingris over to Artadi. Artadi actually has space to take that shot, but they go down to Rivas. Rivas, the hook. No. Ronald Tubid, the man who has been on fire these last couple of games. Nice pass inside to Villanueva. Villanueva running out of space.
That's a good pivot there by Enrico. It's just a wild shot that he threw up at the basket. It's going to be an offensive foul on Rivas. Now, Rivas is wondering why, but every time you hit Tubid, he's going to give you a little extra acting. Try to sell the call.
So that's foul number 1 on Rivas.
He has to be one of the best actors in the PBA, Ronald Tubid. And a lot of times it works to his advantage.
Tubid from the outside moves in. Scaling the baseline, Aarentos. Down low, Tubid again. At the last second, finding Rich Alvarez. That's short. Barangay Ginebra Kings having trouble with their range here as Artadi scoops it in.
Well, Artadi really taking advantage of the defense of Johnny A here at the beginning of the game.
So 7 of the 12 Pure Foods points belong to Paul Artadi. And that's a steal. Oh no, correction, that is going to be a foul. And Paul Artadi caught reaching in, as we see from our angle. Eric Mink getting ready to come in for the first time.
I failed to mention Eric Mink's name when it comes to low post players for the Ginebra team. He's also another option for them.
Shot clock at 14 seconds.
And Eric Mink had a productive game in their last win over Barako Bulls, scoring 18 points in 21 minutes to go along with 10 rebounds. And Paul Artadi heads to the bench, making way for Roger Yap.
And Coach Jong reacted because he's down right now by 9 points by going to a bigger team, bringing in Eric Mink into the game.
And Aarentos leans in, scores again.
I'm telling you, Vito, he's giving all of us hope. Johnny A is 39 years old. He's been in the league for almost 2 decades now. And he can still get it done.
And Ronald Tubid not happy about that call. He's called with a foul. And he's going to have his hands full trying to cover James Yap.
Because James Yap is very physical on offense. I mean, he will really hammer you to try to get the basketball, and sometimes you really have to protect yourself.
14 seconds on the shot clock for Pure Foods. Roger Yap trying to direct traffic. Pingris on the outside. And the Giants slowly running out of time here. Aliado takes the baseline jumper. No good. But another offensive board for Rivas.
Offensive foul on Roger Yap.
That sends the future Hall of Famer Johnny Aarentos to the floor.
Well, if you had seen Johnny play when he first came into the PBA, you can understand why he might still be in the league right now. He was just probably the best point guard of his time. Quicker and faster than everybody else. One of the best rebounding guards you ever want to see here in the PBA. And it was almost impossible to bring the basketball up the court against him. I mean, other guards actually feared bringing the ball up the court.
Possession still with Barangay Ginebra. They have 12 seconds to work here. Now Ronald Tubid, isolation play for him. They're running out of time here.
A good idea, bad pass.
And Roger Yap finishes in transition. And the lead back up to 9 points as we approach the halfway mark of the first quarter. Villanueva looking for Menk down low. Menk, all power for that too.
So Eric Mink might be somebody you might want to keep going to in the low post area because he can really attack the rim. You see the sagging defense here of Ginebra. They're playing a boxing one against James Yap.
There's the drop for Pingris. Pingris can't get it to trickle in. Another putback for Rivas. On the other end, Intal over to Abarientos. And Abarientos short on that three. And James Yap with a little stop and pop action. He got the back of the rim. And JC Intal full speed ahead. There's the kick out to Ronald Tubid. 4-3, no. Tubid trying to find the range he showed against Baraka Bull. He went 5 for 10 from beyond the arc in that game.
Well, so far, Ginebra, they're not shooting the basketball very well at the beginning of this basketball game. There's going to be a foul called on Ginebra. Probably go against Johnny A.
Over to Mika Abisabes now, who's standing by.
All right, well, you know, we were able to witness an exciting ball game from one of the greatest players in the PBA, Johnny A. So I talked to him and asked about how he felt about getting back on court, and he said he honestly needs more minutes to keep up with the energy of the young guns. He said, you know, I'm definitely not in shape, but basketball is in my system, especially in my heart, so the skill will just follow. And here's the trivia. Johnny A was Paul Artadi's first assignment in his rookie year, and just between us, he's still very nervous. Vito, Coach Carmen?
Thanks, Mika. Johnny Abarientos to this day still a force on the court, and Johnny Abarientos last time around played 29 minutes, and he's going to be sharing time along with Kevin White in the backcourt here for Barangay Ginebra as Mark Pingvis sinks one from the charity stripe. First double-digit lead of this ball game. PureFoods up 17-7.
A holding foul there on Rivas. That pass was a little bit long by Mamaril. If Rivas had not fouled Eric Mink, I think that ball would have just gone out of bounds.
Mamaril and Cyrus Baguio on the floor now for Barangay Ginebra. And Romel Aduco coming in now to replace Rafi Ribas.
Well, how great is Johnny A? Well, we do know he's one of the 25 best players ever to play in the PBA, but yet he's still playing, you know. Most of the other guys are not playing anymore, that's for sure.
So the lead still stands at 10 in favor of the Giants. Yap over to Pingris. Roger Yap losing it on the way, and it's going to stay with PureFoods.
Shot clock at 9 seconds. 9 seconds to make a basket.
We'll see whether this boxer one defense will work for Ginebra and get them back into the game. Right now the box is on Simone as Baguio is the one guarding him.
And Simone coming off a great game himself. He scored 18 points in their win over Coca-Cola. And Roger Yap, that's his 4th point of the ball game. Menk down low, Mamaril. Oh, he really cleared out the day there.
And he didn't really have to. He could have just held his position and the ball would have come to him. This is one of the big advantages of the PureFoods team. If you have a Mark Pingris, he can actually guard a small guy. Right now, he was picking up Baguio in that last play, which is normally difficult for most big guys, but for Mark Pingris, he can actually guard a small guy, which enables PureFoods to stay big.
Now Aduco at the low post. Backing down on Mamaril, throws it up. Abarientos looking for a connection here. Baguio finding Menk down low. Let's see how this works out. Menk forces the issue. No good. Rebound by Aliado. And there's the go-ahead pass for Mark Pingris, can't score. On the other end, Cyrus Baguio, another speedster. Oh, it's lost. Battle for the loose ball, picked up by Aarentos. Barangay Ginebra really trying to explore their low post options here, but Mamaril launches a jumper.
Well, it always helps when you can hit from the outside to break down that defense, that interior defense. The field goal shooting there, TJ Giants, 8 out of 16. Kings are not shooting the ball very well, 4 out of 15.
Double team on Roger Yap, out to Aliado. He's clear for 2. No, that rattles out. On the other end, Baguio trying to crisscross through the D, loses the leather. He gets it back, and Baguio leans in, scores on the putback.
It looked like everybody stopped Vito expecting a whistle. The whistle never came, and Baguio just followed up his miss.
Barangay Ginebra still playing catch-up basketball here. They're down by 8. We'll be back. First quarter action continues here at the Araneta Coliseum between Pure Foods and Barangay Ginebra, where Barangay Ginebra have been groping for form here. They've been struggling to get their system to work, while the Pure Foods TJ Giants have it definitely in hand. Jumper by Roger Yap is no good, but another offensive board for Pure Foods.
Well, Ginebra, they're back in a man-to-man defense. Good stop there by Simon. He makes the shot.
First basket of the ball game for PJ Simon, sending it back to a double-digit lead for Pure Foods. Down to the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Eric Menk on the outside. Turnaround jumper for Billy Mamaril. The rookie Rico Meyerhofer also on the floor now for Pure Foods.
On the other side, White has come in for the Ginebra team at the point guard position.
Simon with one eye on the clock, 2 seconds left. Jumper no good, and this one's going back to Ginebra.
Yeah, there was a switch on defense there. Mamaril was picking up PJ Simon, but instead of taking Mamaril to the basket, he decided to take the jump shot.
Let's take a look at this KFC delivery assist of the quarter. This is Paul Artadi finding James Yap just like old times. Enjoy watching the PBA with finger licking food. Dial 887-8888 now. Cyrus Baguio for 3, yes.
That's a good unselfish play there by Billy Mamaril. He just scored the last basket. He could have taken his man one-on-one, but instead, good handoff there and screen for Cyrus Baguio.
It was a rough start in the first quarter for Ronald Tubid, so Cyrus Baguio brought in for Barangay Ginebra, and it's rattled from the outside by PJ Simon.
And Pure Foods continues to be hot as Baguio goes all the way to the basket.
Eric Menk. Now Salvacion for 3.
This is the one thing you have to worry about with Ginebra when their three-point shots start clicking. You know, the fans get involved into the game and their confidence goes way up.
Simon over to Adukul.
Oh.
Way out there, that pass by Romel Adukul, sending it out of bounds and back to Barangay Ginebra.
And that basically happened because Romel decided not to take that wide open 12-footer he had on the baseline. He tried to get a little bit closer. And he made that bad pass.
And Mamaril trying to hand off here to Cyrus Baguio. The Pure Foods defense managed to waste a couple of seconds. Now we're down to the final 5 for the first quarter, and that's a foul. Well, good foul given up by Pure Foods with the fouls to spare. John Dan Salvador checking in to cap off the first quarter for Pure Foods.
Chris Timberlake reports back to the ball game for PUREFOODS.
From the inbound pass, quick foul given up by Timberlake.
Not a bad foul, but maybe he should have let Baggio make 1 or 2 dribbles. Get a little bit more time run off the clock.
At least 3.7. Eric Menk takes it from the outside. No. Oh, will that count? Will that tip in by Billy Mamaril count? We're going to have to go back to the replay. Nice hustle by the Barangay Ginebra big man, regardless of the result.
Well, Eric Mink deciding to take that 3-point shot. Let's see if this tip was in time by Billy Mamaril.
At this point with .2.
No, it was not.
No, he did not. He did not. So that basket will not count. And so the PureFoods TJ Giants are going to hold on to this 5-point lead at the end of the first quarter, 24-19. More PB action coming up on Solar TV after this.
Better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you what.
Back here in the Big Dome, you're watching the PBA live on Solar TV, and with me right now is Assistant Coach Juno Saulero of Ginebra. Coach, the box-and-one defense Ginebra applied to James Yap and PJ Simon worked actually in the first quarter, limiting them to a combined output of 8 points, but it's the other TJ Giants who are causing the damage. Any adjustments in the second?
Yes, you're right, Chiki. What we've been doing in the first quarter is that we've been changing up from box-and-one to man-to-man defense. When we play a box, we've been limiting Simon and James Yap, but the problem is the other guys are getting offensive rebounds and second-chance baskets because our focus is mainly on those two guys. So we just have to keep changing up defenses during the whole game.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck for the rest of the game. Vito?
Thank you, Chicky. And in the opening minutes of the second quarter, we've got a turnover here against Barangay Ginebra. And so far, the PureFoods TJ Giants defense have been doing a good job trying to keep the big men of Barangay Ginebra out. And PureFoods going with Artadi and Simon in the backcourt. Artadi looking for Simon to flash out. Now Simon covered by Salvacion. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. He's going to take this short baseline jumper, no good. Battle for the rebound. Rivas gets another one.
The offensive foul on Salvador, and look at Mayor Hopper and Rivas. They're so long and lean and athletic. They're able to garner that offensive rebound. Well, Ginebra's done a pretty good job reading the offense of PureFoods. What PureFoods has done in the first half, they actually just shot the ball better, 47% in that first quarter compared to only 36% for Ginebra.
And play stopped here with 14 seconds left on the shot clock. So Paul Artadi picking up his second personal foul. Willie Wilson coming in now for the first time. And if you recall, on their first meeting of this conference, Willie Wilson actually had a career high in that game.
It's a very small team now for Ginebra, as Willie Wilson will move to the power forward. Sunday will become the small forward, and Billy Mamaril will be the center.
Salvacion launches it. So the three-point shooting has not been kind here to Barangay Ginebra yet in the first half. Artadi being patient here, out to Simon. They're really trying to get it to PJ Simon. Simon turns around, hangs in the air, lets it go. Almost got the bounce there. There's the save by Mamaril. And now Kevin White looking to go coast to coast. There's the handoff. Baguio. A little bit of hang time and the foul.
They're going to call an offensive foul, I believe. That was just a great move by Cyrus Baguio, taken away that time by the referee. Let's take another look at it. They're going to say, yes, he kicked Rivas when he went up for that shot, but what hang time by Cyrus Baguio.
Nonetheless, it was a good goal. There's the kick right there.
Right in the private area of Rafi Rivas.
He's going to remember that the next time he sees Cyrus Baguio driving down the lane. Lead still at 5 for PureFoods. Hand off now to James Yap. They're really trying to close in on the shooters, but James Yap gets through. Yap is headed to the line.
And whenever you scout players as a coach, the one thing you cannot teach is athletic ability. And James Yap definitely has that, the ability to hang in the air. You saw it on the other end with Cyrus Baguio. These guys are just high leapers that can create shots for themselves. They don't really need help to get their shots off.
James Yap currently number 10 in the league in scoring. And he is the Giants' top scorer right behind Kirby Raimundo.
Actually, James Yap's scoring is a little bit down this conference. A little bit under 15 points per game. He normally averages about 17, 18 points per game.
Well, Pingris brought back into the front line of Pure Foods. James Yap. So split charities, 4 points on the board for James Yap. And Ronald Tubid, after a rough first quarter, is back on the floor for Barangay Ginebra. And Mamaril gets free again for that jumper. Oh, almost, he had a good line on that shot. Artadi, there's the lob pass, got the rim, now Kevin White pushing it. And White up and under.
A good ball movement that time as White went to the basket, avoiding the defense of Paul Artadi.
Barangay Ginebra now within 4, 9 minutes and 21 still remaining in the second quarter. Meyerhofer with a crossover, he gets it slapped away, and he'll get fouled.
Well, Sunday was right there on the drive of Meyerhofer, but he brought his hand down when he went for the block. Normally the referees will call that every time.
Rico Meyerhofer leading all rookies in statistical points. He's been good for about 9.7 rebounds per game so far in this KFC PBA Philippine Cup.
And 7 rebounds, and what you really like about him is his shooting percentage. Shooting almost 60% from the floor, 59.2 to be exact. He's getting it done as a rookie, that's for
right.
sure.
So the points keep piling up here for Pure Foods, up by 6 at the last minute. Pass out to Salvachon for 3, no. And Paul Artadi finds James Yap, instant offense.
That's a good round of two, big. You have to get your hands up against James Yap. He has one of the quickest draws in the league. You can get that shot off in an instant.
Out to Kevin White. White for 3. No. Salvador bringing down the rebound. And Paul Artadi keeping the tempo up here, running into that brick wall of Barangay Ginebra players.
Well, just because you don't fall down doesn't mean it's not an offensive foul. White took the blow right in the chest that time from Artadi. That's why Artadi was called for the offensive foul. Paul Artadi actually thought he could split these two players here. You're going to see another Ginebra player come in there. He thought he could split them. He also got bumped, didn't he? That's a pretty close call, but it could have gone either way.
Sandwiched right in there between Billy Mamaril and Kevin White. So Chris Timberlake in now for Pure Foods. And that was foul number 3 on Paul Artadi. Salvacion, no room to take a 3. Down low to Mamaril. Mamaril off the quick shot, no good. Now James Yap. They're outnumbered here. Yap loses it. Ronald Tubid on the run. There's the kick out. White is open. No. But off the offensive board, there's Mamaril for 2.
Billy Mamaril using his strength underneath the basket. Really carving space for himself to get that offensive rebound.
And Pure Foods ahead by 7. Over to Chicky Reyes now with this report.
Thank you, Vito. Quick injury reports for both teams. Bad news for Pure Foods fans. Kirby Raimundo is not 100% sure to play tonight. According to the PT of Pure Foods, Kirby has a contusion to the lateral side of the left knee, which makes it difficult for him to stay low. Now going over to Ginebra, though still in the injured list, Junti Valenzuela has returned to practice this week but will still be out for another 2 weeks. Celino Cruz will also be out for a week or two because of his left finger injury. As for Ronald Tubid, he said that his broken left index finger will not stop him from playing 4 full quarters if needed. Vito?
Thank you, Chicken. This is the kind of player Ronald Tubid is.
Well, he loves to play the game, and he just threw an offensive foul against James Yap that last play. And I told you he's a good actor. No, he took the blow that time. Actually, he took some contact, but at the same time, he knows how to sell it.
So Barangay Ginebra with another opportunity to chip into the 7-point lead with 7 minutes and 37 remaining in the second quarter. Kevin White out to Eric Menk. Menk in no man's land. Now Ronald Tubid trying to get the quick step here. There's the baseline. The reverse! Ronald Tubid!
You said the quick step. That was a quick drive to the basket. Another very athletic player we have here in the PBA. And when you take out Ronald Tubid, you put in Cyrus Baggio and vice versa.
It's apples for apples, really.
Oh, a shot there.
And there is a nice trail job by Rico Meyerhopper.
Well, Pure Foods right now, they're dominating the rebounds. I believe it's 20-12.
And that was an offensive foul called against Barangay Ginebra. And Rafi Rivas absorbing the contact there. Might be on Tubid. Oh, it was JC Intal rather that picked up the foul.
Yeah, Pure Foods out rebounding the Ginebra team 20-12, and Pure Foods had seven offensive rebounds in this game so far.
Down low to Pingris against Willie Wilson. Pingris, the fake, and the 2.
Well, Mark Pingris has been getting a lot of playing time so far in this game, and he has about a 3-inch advantage against the defense of Willie Wilson.
A lot of helping hands for Pure Foods so far here in the first half.
And that's a good sign for Pure Foods. The fact that you don't have to rely on James or Simone or Kirby, who's not here actually, to score a lot of points for you. Instead, you're getting it across the board as far as their players are concerned.
Rich Alvarez back in for Barangay Ginebra after starting. Ronald Tubid. Oh, he had his eye on the prize there, and it looks like there's going to be an offensive foul called against Tubid.
And he actually admits it, which is very rare in the PBA for a player to admit the foul. He puts his hands up.
That's going to be foul number 2 against the Saint. Here it is.
Oh, look at the limp of Rico there as he just blocks that shot.
So back to Pure Foods with another opportunity to bring the lead back up to double digits. Timberlake down low. And Mark Pingris just saw his opening to score from close range. And the Pure Foods TJ Giants have mounted another run en route to this 11-point lead. We'll be right back with more PBA on Solar TV.
Better than this. What a play!
You're watching second quarter action from the Big Dome live on Solar TV. Barangay Ginebra versus the Pure Foods TJ Giants, their second meeting in this KFC PBA Philippine Cup.
Well, Johnny A is back in the game now for Ginebra as they've gone down 11 points here in the second quarter.
Hey, James!
A lot of the damage that Pure Foods is doing is inside that paint.
And they have more than one weapon for to do that. You've got Meyerhofer, you've got Rafi Rivas there, and James Yap with the rebound. An ill-advised outside shot taken by Eric Mankas. Timberlake looking to soar in for that too. James Yap with the fake. There's the one-hander.
That's what I'm talking about, the hang time. Not to mention the huge hands that James Yap has. Not too many players can hold the basketball with one hand like that and still shoot it.
Now Eric Ming trying to get past Rafi Rivas. And Rivas was just waiting to swat that one away. Timberlake ahead to Meyerhofer. Meyerhofer against Ronald Tubid. And it will count. It's going to be a blocking foul against Ronald Tubid.
And that's going to be his third personal if it is against Ronald Tubid. That's right.
Let's take another look at this shot by James Yap.
A good fake there as he faked away, but not too many players can do what he just did. This is the athletic ability of Meyerhofer going to the basket.
Couldn't finish the three-point play, but look at this, he got the rebound. The hops on this rookie as PureFoods continues to enjoy their biggest lead of the ball game, up by 15, 40-25. Johnny A. Tight defense here. He's sandwiched by the double team. 4 seconds left on the shot clock for Barangay Ginebra. Intal. No, it's an offensive foul on Alvarez.
There's one thing that Johnny A is giving away right now at age 39 is the fact that he cannot blow past his defenders like he used to. You can see he's having a difficult time bringing the ball up the court. And Timberlake, a much younger player, doing the right thing, putting a lot of pressure on him. Ginebra's gone to a 2-3 zone.
James Yap hoping to add another three. Now Cyrus Baguio. Still up tempo and still scoring for Barangay Ginebra. And Coach Ryan Gregorio of the PureFoods TJ Giants putting an end to that run with this timeout. PureFoods up 40-27. We'll be right back.
Better than this. What a play!
And this Christmas season, catch the Disney on Ice Disneyland Adventures at the Araneta Coliseum from December 25 to January 3. To get your tickets, just call TicketNet at 911-5555. Less than 4 minutes to go now in the second quarter. Barangay Ginebra still trailing by big, down by 13. Timberlake looking to drop, but the interception by Villanueva. And Cyrus Baguio now getting some heavier coverage from James Yap. Over to Intal. Aarentos to Baguio. Baguio was open. So the outside shots of Barangay Ginebra still not getting there.
Yeah, Don Ayado losing that basketball when he went up to the hoop. That's what normally happens when players are open from like 8 feet, but they want to get to 4 feet. And something bad happens, you might as well just take the shot if you're open.
Another opportunity for Barangay Ginebra. Villanueva out of the high post. They really want to get it to Cyrus Baguio. But the give and go now to Villanueva. Crossed away to Intal. Baseline 2. No. And last touch by PureFoods.
Well, if you're Ginebra, you want to finish this quarter strong. You're down by 13. You've only scored 27 points here in the first half. You have to put some points on the board to end this particular quarter.
Villanueva finally getting what he wanted, and that's a foul. And Don Aliado will pick up that foul. And Barangay Ginebra will need all the help that they can get here from guys like Villanueva. They'll need guys like Rich Alvarez to score, and even Johnny Aarentos, with Ronald Tubid not being as prolific as he'd like to be. Now here at the PBA, we don't just give action-packed games, we give exciting surprises as well, like our Mr. Donut Surprise family of the game. So congrats to the Abaca family for winning a box of Mr. Donuts. Sarap pang surprise.
Well, Enrico missed the first foul shot and the second.
CJ Simon out to Paul Artadi. Six seconds left on the shot clock here for PureFoods. Artadi in the land of the Giants, out to Aliado for the jumper, no good. Alvarez can't hold on to the rebound. And all the breaks really going to PureFoods here in the first half. Artadi thought about it. And the rebound by Villanueva.
Good rebound there by Enrico.
Now Cyrus Baguio.
Oh, kidding me or what?
Look at that aerial battle.
And there was no kick that time as he got the 2 points. I think Cyrus just gauges who's in front of him. If he thinks he can out-jump you, he's just going to attack you.
And Don Aliado trying to move in, and that's an offensive foul.
It's going to be number 3 on Don Aliado.
Let's take a look at this one.
Yeah, he's just looking at who's in front of him. We know Mark Pingers can also jump. Cyrus just has incredible, you can see the leg right there once again. Look at, he shot that as he almost hit the floor.
He might have been just 2 inches off of the floor when he let that one go. Johnny A over to Rich Alvarez. They go to Villanueva. Nice handoff.
Yes, good interior passing there between Enrico and Alvarez, who have been teammates for quite a long time, huh? Since their college days.
And PureFoods really trying to work from the outside in. Salvador out to Simon. Simon for 3. That's short. But look at this. Look at the hustle here by PureFoods. Unfortunately, taken away by Aarentos. It's 3 on 2. They save it for Salvacion. Out to Aarentos for 3. Yes!
Yeah! Johnny A!
And Johnny Aarentos now with 7 points in the ball game, but more importantly, Barangay Ginebra with an opportunity to finish the first half strong, down only by 6. As we pause for this quick 30-second timeout brought to you by Handy Fix. Ang first aid ng bahay mo, bonds all, seals all.
Well, the defense of Ginebra has picked up here at the end of the quarter. We said that they needed to finish strong here to give themselves a chance in the second half. That was good ball movement by Ginebra, and finally the ball got back to Johnny A. He was able to knock down the 3. Ambassador Kenny on your screens there.
One of the most rabid sports fans, definitely a rabid basketball fan.
And we're very sad that she'll be leaving soon.
Let's take a look at our KFC delivery assist of the quarter. This was Villanueva finding Rich Alvarez. Enjoy watching the PBA with finger licking food. Dial 887-8888. So 37.7 seconds still left here in the second quarter. And it is going to be PureFoods possession. They've got Roger Yap along with PJ Simon in the backcourt. John Dan Salvador, Rafi Rivas, and Mark Pingris.
Ginebra still sitting in that 2-3 zone.
Roger Yap with the leaner, no.
So they can get the last shot now here at the end of the quarter.
And I tell you, there's a clear winner in the rebounding battle here in the first half, and it is PureFoods. Roger Yap locks and loads.
And normally when you give up offensive rebounds, you pay the price for it. And that's something that Coach John will be talking about at halftime to the Ginebra team.
And Rich Alvarez really wanted Johnny A to take that miracle shot. But nonetheless, our first half is over, and Barangay Ginebra down by 9, 43-34. And PureFoods doing an excellent job at limiting the Barangay Ginebra Kings, but the Kings, even though they've had some pretty good opportunities, have not been able to make their shots, especially their threes. Over to Chicky Reyes now.
Now is a top performer of PureFoods in the first half, James Yap. Sabi ni Coach Ronnie that we will see a different James Yap dito kasi may individual defensive assignment ka daw nagagampanan. Hindi ba ito nakaka-apekto sa opensa mo?
Yun yung emphasize namin ngayon, no? Yung defense ko. Kasi kung titignan mo yung mga tape, talagang ina-atake ako. So sabi ni coach na mag-focus muna ako sa defense ko. Tapos bonus na lang yung offense ko. So yun yung ginagawa ko ngayon.
Alam mo mukhang hindi na maglalaro si Kirby Raimundo, but you guys are doing well dito sa first half. Sa tingin mo, kaya nyong manalo dito nang wala si Kirby all the way hanggang dulo?
Handa naman kami noon, no? Dahil alam namin na wala si Kirby, last game pa wala siya. So handa kami noon dahil yun nga, no? In-emphasize talaga namin yung defense namin. So alam naman natin pag Ginebra, never say die yan eh. So alam namin na babalik yan. So yun yung pag-aralan namin mabuti ngayon sa second half.
Thank you, James, and good luck sa second half. Now, PBA fans, don't touch that remote control because when we return, we will show you the PBA Top 10 Plays of the Week only here on Solar TV.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you what. Santa Claus is coming to town. Just to remind all you kids that want to be naughty or nice for Christmas, remember, if you're nice, you get whatever you want from Santa Claus and Daddy and Mommy. Then always say, Salamat po, Ito po. I am Alex Cristiano of the Baraka Bulls, wishing everybody maligayang Pasko sa inyo lahat.